When you enter the doors of the Fred Astaire Dance Studio in Bloomfield Hills on a Saturday once a month, you may see something you haven't before.
I can't compare anything to dancing though. I really can't.
I feel like I'm floating. It just brings me so much joy.
Wheelchair ballroom dancing has been around since the late 60s, but that was only in Europe, where it has grown significantly since then. 10 years ago, Evan Mountain, who owned this studio, was told by an overseas dance instructor that it was growing in popularity where he was from.
I'd never heard of such a thing. It wasn't common in the United States. So I put a post out on Facebook saying, we're going to start a wheelchair ballroom dance class. And thinking, what's going to happen? Well, next thing I know, as I get a call from a woman named Cheryl Angelelli, who says, I'd be interested in doing it.
I was the first person to call Evan and the only person to call Evan. Little did I know that I would then go on to compete internationally, be ranked top 5 in the world in ballroom dancing, co-found this program, meet so many amazing people, travel all over the country and teach others how to do what I was doing. So it really was a life-changing moment.
Cheryl Angelelli grew up in competitive swimming, but after an unfortunate injury sustained while diving into a pool that left her paralyzed from the chest down, she was told she'd struggle to compete in anything ever again. Cheryl quickly debunked that theory.
I was a Paralympian and I've won 4 medals, I've broken world records, but to me, this program probably brings me the most pride just because of being able to allow other people to experience it.
The Dance Mobility Program has meant so much to both the individuals in wheelchairs coming in and connecting and doing something that they artistically would enjoy and socially enjoy. We started that program 10 years ago. We've worked with well over 100 individuals in wheelchairs and amputees over that time, teaching them how to, the benefits of ballroom dancing in wheelchairs.
Now, word of this class spread quickly, and like anything new, there was some apprehension.
I do remember being nervous coming to the studio for the first time because I'm like, you know, like what are people going to think?
I was talking to one of my good friends. He was taking the lessons and he said, you know, I'm doing this class, I want you to check it out. I'm like, what is it? He's like, it's dancing. I'm like, I don't know if I want to do this.
And I came to my first group class lesson and one of the ladies came up to me and I was transferring into my dance chair and she said, oh, are those your dancing shoes? And immediately it was the icebreaker that made me feel comfortable.
All right, fine, I'm not going to check it out. And then I instantly fell in love with it. So I was like, okay, I'm hooked, I'm done.
Rachel was so hooked on it that she's worked hard enough to continue to grow in the sport, competing amongst others in competitions across the state and country. And as the interest grew, so did the need for support. That's when Cheryl introduced what was going on to the president of the Reimagine Life Foundation, Katie Spillane Knight.
I was at the very first class here, and it was pretty spectacular. The thing that stood out for me, and I still remember this, is there was a woman that was here and her kids were here. And she started dancing and she said, look kids, your mom's dancing. And it's a really, really amazing thing to see. Wheelchair ballroom dancing is not a big sport in America, and the Reimagine Life Foundation would really like to change that. And I think our partnership with Fred Astaire Dance Studios will allow us to do that. We fund over $10,000 in scholarships a year, and it is for individuals who want to further their wheelchair ballroom dancing. Perhaps they want to compete on a different level. Perhaps they like it so much that they don't like just doing it once a month, and they want to do more. It's a wonderful thing for them to do.
Nobody was really exploring what dance could look like for people with disabilities. And the Reimagine Life Foundation immediately said yes. And they got behind this program from day one. They have been supporting it and sponsoring it, which allows us to be able to rent the studio, pay the teachers, make the program free for all of the participants who come. So, you know, Evan and I may have given life to this program, but it's the Reimagine Life Foundation that really is the heartbeat of this program that's been able to sustain it for 10 years.
I like the fact that it's free. I like it. The fact that we're able to do something, it's offering us, people with disabilities, something to do on Saturday once a month. And it's a great feeling.
Through that support, the program thrived, so much so that after years of trying, Katie and her team were able to host the first ever international sanctioned wheelchair ballroom dancing competition in the Western Hemisphere back in the summer of 2024, right here in Detroit.
People loved our city. We had a judge from Italy who rode the People Mover 32 times.
They loved Detroit, they loved the experience, so we want that to continue to grow.
When people talk about dance being a universal language, it truly is. And to see all of these people come together and laugh and joke and speak and not be able to speak the same language, but absolutely speaking the same dance language.
The growth from a single Facebook post a decade ago has created a movement for this sport, as it's now found all over the country. And while competing at the highest level is exceptional, we can't forget the impact that's felt by each individual that gives it a try, and the power it gives back to people with disabilities.
It definitely has given me more encouragement. It's definitely changed a lot for me, for my life, for the better. So this has been a huge part for me. To do dancing has been very good for my mental health.
Just because somebody has a disability doesn't mean they think any different or have feelings different than the rest of us, anybody else, you know, and to bring that out has been such a joy to me, you know, to build this program and to take it from here in Bloomfield Hills, where we've worked with so many students over these last 10 years, that we've expanded the program all across the United States with Fred Astaire studios everywhere.
I always say that there's no limitations in life. The only limitations there are the ones that you choose to place on yourselves.
Congratulations to Evan Mountain, Cheryl Angelelli, Rachel Coleman, and Katie Spillane Knight, the winners of this year's President's Award.